Good morning. Welcome to day 68 on the Appalachian Trail. As you can see, we got a nice little creek behind us. Didn't really sleep that well. Someone came into the camp last night at like 11:30 at night, setting up camp, being loud as hell. Had their lights shining everywhere. Stuff like that really pisses me off when I'm out here. It's so annoying. It's just rude. Like, I understand, you're hiking late at the night, but, don't come in there making all that racket. It's just annoying as shit. So, anyway, ran over for that. So, yeah, I didn't sleep very well. Just kept getting woken up. But it is what it is. Got a really big climb ahead of me right now. It's like 2.5 miles up. Not looking forward to it. I'm already sweating, as you can see. I've already done a mile, and I was coming downhill. So humidity is definitely rough out here right now. But anyway, so yeah, we got that big climb. Got another one I want to try to get done. If I can get both those done, it'll put me at like an 18-mile day from where I'm looking at staying. It'd be nice to get that. There is nothing really between here and the next like 70 miles, 60-something miles. This is one of the longest stretches, I think, that I've had that there was nothing. There's two hostels that are like halfway, like 30-something miles, 35 miles. One of them is new. It just opened up this year. Huckleberry Hostel. So I might try to see about staying there. The only other one is Four Pines. Four Pines is a little bit off. So, but those are all be right around the hitting the Triple Crown, Dragon's Tooth, McAfee Knob, and Tinker Cliffs. So that'll be another day or so before we even get there. McAfee, I was really trying to hope to not hit it on the weekend, because it's so popular. It's just so crowded there. So, I mean, it's already Friday. Chances are, I don't think I'll hit it till Sunday at best. Probably Monday, actually. So that would work out. After that, it's just a downhill shot to Daleville. I'll probably stay there the night. That's right around Roanoke. That way I can catch up on some videos and rest a little bit before we start the next part of Virginia. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna get this pack on and get this big climb out of the way. Hope everyone has a great Friday, and we'll see you later. Up on that bad boy. He is not happy. He a biggin. I knew eventually it was gonna happen. Well, let me figure out how to get around. This is where the road's got us going. Came out from back over there, into the woods and the mountains back there. Now walking through this. Wouldn't be bad. Luckily the wind's blowing. I waited for a little while for the wind because it is hot. It's like 80 something. That transformer over there, or somewhere on those ones up there, that's where we're trying to get to. there's a camp spot coming up over there, right next to a creek. Been having issues with my shin all day, my left shin. So I might call it early today. Finish this walk up and then, actually now it looks like we're going over that way. I don't know. Can't ever tell with the AT. 1 second it looks like it's going straight and then all of a sudden it does some stupid turn. So, anyway, at least there's some pretty farm property out here. So, alright guys, get this hike in and catch up to you in a bit. They make them squirrels big over here. Look at that tree rat. Yeah, big old sucker. He wasn't not worried about me either. Cabin here falling apart. It's crazy. I was down by the creek getting water because there's no water coming up, and saw Amish horse and buggy. I couldn't get my phone out, but I guess Amish live right around here. That's pretty cool. All right, trying to make it to camp. This is a 300-year-old oak tree. She's mighty big. Alright, I think there's a camp spot up here. Hopefully we can pitch our tent in. I'll get you in a bit. Good evening. The end of day 68 out here on the Appalachian Trail. It was a rough day today. It was hot. Got up to 90. Had a ridiculous climb first thing this morning, and it zapped me. Like I said, I didn't sleep very good. You know, people coming in to the camp, you know, freaking 11:30 at night, shine their light, making food, and just annoying as hell. That's why you try not to stay near the shelters. You know, usually you can avoid some of that. So tonight, we're actually over by this old 300-year-old oak tree. I'm by myself up here tonight. Haven't seen many people out lately. There was that group, Team Bear Bait, I was hiking with, but I know they're a little bit ahead. I started having issues with my shin today after the hike up. My left shin just really bothering me. So try not to go too fast, take a few breaks. But man, once you got out of the mountains, or the mountain, and it was a lot of cow fields and meadows you were going through, and there was no shade. It was just brutal with the sun and the heat. Most of the water sources come from cow fields, so it's not recommended to drink them. I wanted to go swimming in one of them. I mean, it didn't look that bad, but I elected not to. Found another creek that they recommend everybody use. The only bad part is I filled up my water bottles, and then I had to basically fill up my water bag with filter and carry it up to the campsite because there's no water. In fact, I've got right at 2 liters of water, and tomorrow the only water source, I gotta climb in the morning, not quite as bad as I'm hoping as this morning's was. It's about 1.5 mile climb, but the only water source at the top of there is like 1/2 mile down towards the shelter at the top of the mountain, and it's even farther to get to the water. The bad part is, if that wasn't bad enough, that's the only water between me and about 9 miles. So I'm gonna try, I took my electrolytes. Yesterday I got some cramps last night, even though I took my electrolytes, just the heat, and I didn't drink as much water yesterday. So today I tried to stop when I could and get water, but man, there are stretches where there's no water. It really sucks. You really have to pay attention to your map, and to make sure that even if you get to that water source, it's actually a reliable one and it's good to even use, even with filter. Like I say, there's a bunch of farms around here and they don't recommend some of the water sources. Views, pretty good stuff today. Some of the meadows, I mean, they were beautiful, some beautiful farmland, but that heat was no joke. There was no clouds out. There's clouds out now, but there weren't, today when I was hiking through it. I was trying to find little shrub bushes, and I'd take a little break under there sometimes if I could. I got to camp a little bit earlier. I didn't want to push it with my leg bothering me. It's feeling better now. I took some medicine. Still no cell service. I had cell service for maybe an hour up top when I got done with that climb. Hours probably pushing it, because you were only up top for a couple miles and then you were coming back down. I immediately lost service again. So it's funny, they say Verizon's the best out here on the trail, but I was talking to a guy who thru hiked last year, and when we were camping last night, he had full service. He has AT&T, so he said he had better service even up north. So who knows? It's kind of sucks, in a way. I know we're not, while you're out here, you're not supposed to rely on, your cell phone and all, but when you're out here by yourself, it's kind of nice to have that little bit of communication with people, whether it be friends, family, something. It takes a toll after a while. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I haven't had hardly any service since I left town Wednesday morning. So it's definitely been kind of aggravating in a way, because you get to camp, set up. I made dinner. I set up camp a little earlier today, and I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. So you can only look at the map so much in the app to plan your next day. Tomorrow I'm pushing for a much bigger day. I've got a hefty, like I said, a good climb, and I got about an 8-mile hike to get to this one road crossing. The water there, the bridge is no longer there to cross, so you have to cross through the water, but there is an alternate route that you can take that does count towards your miles hiked. I really don't care if it counts towards it or not. It's like a 4-mile hike on the road. They say it's a really nice. There's not a lot of traffic, so it basically goes around the mountain. So cheers to that. You don't have to climb an extra mountain, because sometimes Virginia doesn't believe in switchbacks, which switchbacks are, you go up a little bit and then it turns back and you go kind of back the same way, but you're up higher a little bit and just switches back and forth. They don't believe in that. They decide they just want you to go straight up the goddamn mountain. Sorry for my French, but it's aggravating, guys. Like, the trails suck. They're they're just nothing but rocks and boulders. I mean, they're just, the past few days I've been very aggravated. Not saying like I see why people get the Virginia blues. One, you're in the state for freaking ever, and two, like, you know, I've heard so many people over the years say, "Oh, Virginia's not as bad as," that's BS. Virginia is just as bad in a lot of the areas and the climes as everywhere else. In fact, one would say Georgia is probably, yeah, it's higher elevation, but at least the trails are maintained better. They're nicer. They're easier to go up and down to me, even though it was hard at first because I was so out of shape. But here it's just like today. I mean, a half a mile doesn't seem like much, but when it is straight freaking up, a half mile is a lot. So, especially when it's just loose rocks that you're just, you know, slipping down. So anyway, I'm gonna hit that road walk tomorrow. So that'll put me within a couple miles of Dragon's Tooth, which is the first of the Virginia Triple Crown. After that'll be McAfee Knob and Tinker Cliffs. So there is a hostel between Dragon's Tooth. There's two hostels between Dragon's Tooth and McAfee. One is Wood Pines Hostel. It's a little bit off the trail. Both are a little bit off the trail, but they will. I know the other one, Huckleberry, it's a newer one. In fact, the guy I was talking to that thru hiked last year, he thru hiked with the guy Huckleberry. It's a new hostel, just opened up. I'm not expecting a lot. It's gotten good reviews, but I don't even know if they'll have room. My goal is to be there Sunday. Tonight's obviously Friday, so try to be there Sunday. You know, get a shower, get some laundry done. I mean, it's been so hot, like I've been switching through clothes, like I just, everything stinks. I would love to have a shower right now. So anyway, and there's a store, it's kind of like a little convenience store market out here because there's nothing much else out there. I'm probably gonna hit that Sunday, hopefully kind of early. If I can get the miles in tomorrow like I want, it would make Sunday basically like a 4-mile hike to the convenience store, 4.5 miles after I hit Dragon's Tooth. And then I could be, it's actually, I could either call the hostel if I have service, which I probably won't. Or I can, it's right down the road a couple miles. I'll just hike it or put my thumb out. And then the hostel will drop me back off, right before, the parking area right before, McAfee. So the nice thing about that is I wouldn't be hitting McAfee until Monday. So because it is such a popular place on the AT, weekenders, it's always packed up there, they say, on the weekends. So at least this way it'll be a Monday. Shouldn't be as many people up there, just hikers. And there's large groups in front of me, so there's been a lot of reports in Noro. The really crappy part is where the road walk ends tomorrow, all the way until almost the town of Daleville, which is still another, I don't know, maybe 50 miles. You can't just camp wherever you want. They actually will ticket you. You have to camp either in a designated tenting area that has bear boxes and all, or you have to stay at the shelters. Most of the shelters don't have very many tenting spots, and you know, the shelters, because they are so crowded because of people going to what they call the Triple Crown, you know, McAfee and Dragon's Tooth and all that, norovirus is everywhere. So it's kind of shitty because you're stuck, you know, between a rock and a hard place. So luckily there are some camping sites. We're gonna try to hit those up. I was calculating it out, you know, while I was sitting here in my tent because I had nothing else to do. So again, probably why this video is so long. So anyway, I was looking at it. If I can hit the hostel by Sunday, Monday I get dropped off and I hit up McAfee. There's a shelter and a tenting spot just below, and from there to hike out, or I could hit McAfee and Tinker Cliffs in the same day. And right on the other side of Tinker Cliffs is a shelter or a big campground, which is more ideal. So I could hit that Monday evening, and then Tuesday I would have maybe a 10-mile hike into town, Daleville, which is also right by Road Oak. So definitely gonna get a room for the night when I get there. They have quite a bit there. I'm gonna have to resupply. I'm not running low, but I'm running low. I've got enough food to last me about 3 days, give or take. I've been trying to eat a little bit more. Like, I hadn't been eating lunches before. I've been trying to eat some stuff for lunch now, and you know, try to keep my energy up, especially with the heat. It's just draining. So I wasn't quite planning for that, but that's why I'm gonna hit that little convenience store Sunday before the hostel, because that's really my only resupply point to get stuff before I get to Daleville. So I only have to pick up a couple things. It'll be enough, lighten my load a little bit with food. I already knew this was gonna be a long stretch. I just didn't plan it to take quite as long. So anyway, we're gonna get that done, and that's the plan. So try to make it to the big day tomorrow. Get close to where I only have maybe a 4 to 5 mile hike up to Dragon's Tooth and down. Get to that little convenience store, get a few things to resupply, get to the hostel fairly early so I can relax. I'm gonna have to recharge everything because everything is getting kind of low on juice. My battery bank, it's got like a bar left, so that'll be for tomorrow. Basically, I've only been charging my phone for the most part. Luckily, my Garmin hasn't died yet. It's still at 44%. So that's my only form of communication with my mom, honestly, with anybody right now. So I can't let that die. And then, yeah, get everything recharged. Hopefully Monday get it back on trail to McAfee and Tinker. And then Tuesday, try to push to get to Daleville. At least once I get past tomorrow's climbs. The climbs aren't as bad. Dragon's Tooth's not as bad. McAfee's got a hefty little climb, but it's actually one of the few, because it's so popular, it actually has switchbacks going up. So that'll help. Won't be as bad because it's pretty high. And then Tinker's not that bad from what it looks like on the map. And after Tinker, it pretty much just kind of does like this, like a little rolling area. So shouldn't be too bad. Should be able to get 10 miles and still get into Daleville pretty early, as long as I get up early. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go. It's already been almost 17 minutes on here. So as you can see, I'm talking away because I ain't had nobody else to talk to all day. So thank you for listening. Thank you for following, and I'll see y'all in the morning. Have a good weekend.